before we commence. Thank you. Okay, so hello everybody. Um, we're going to start right away. 6 minutes past 6 already. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me see. Okay. So I hope you all can see what's on my screen. Hello?
Yes, we can see. Hello.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if my connection was again. Okay, so once again, welcome to today's session. Today we're going to look at so many things, including the assignments for last week. So first of all, we'll have a brief uh, overview of what we did last week. Then before going into our assignments of last week, which was on data warehousing and Snowflake SQL, we'll talk of the concepts of concepts of designing a data warehouse. Last
Sorry, I cannot hear anything. Am I the only one?
No, she lost connection.
You're not the only one.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know. Is someone talking? But I can't hear anything from my end. Or if I've missed any information.
Okay, good evening, Raphael. I think
Good evening, everyone.
Ogochukwu left the call and she's not yet back. Probably, I think she's having network issues. We'll need to
Voila. Okay.
reach out through Slack. I mean through Discord and see if she's going to respond.
Okay. Thank you for that, Joshua. Thank you.
How long are we supposed to wait? One today, 12. One to that 12. We got
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello, yes.
So, please, when did I go off? Because I just realized that I was off.
Since probably 7 minutes past, you've been off.
Oh, really? Wow. I just realized now.
You've been off
I
for
was talking to myself for this while. I'm sorry, please. So, where did I stop?
I don't think you started.
Yeah, first slide.
Sorry, I didn't hear
We've
you.
not even
clearly.
started.
You have not started.
Ah?
Yeah, you're about to start. That's when it went off.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I said you've been off for 14 minutes.
You'll
Oh
be
my
on for
God.
over 1 hour, Ogochukwu.
Are you
Yeah,
serious? And
14 minutes.
I've been talking to myself all this while. I'm so
That's why we
sorry. I
sent
didn't
something
even know I was caught up.
on this channel.
Okay, so let me share my screen again. God, so oh gosh. Okay, so I hope we can all see my screen, right?
Yes.
Am I still connected?
Yes.
No one is responding, oh, please.
Yes, you are. We can hear you. Someone
Okay,
is
thank
responding.
you. So I'll have to run this back again. But let me get, did I? Do you get where I created the database tables and its columns, records into the tables?
No, you've not started anything to this.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
Not started
you went
anything
off.
at all
Oh my God.
since about 50 minutes.
Wow. Okay, please, that means I'll have to rush all of this now. So I'm very, very, very sorry. I didn't know that. Let me just copy all of this and start all over. So first of all, we're going to start with creating this entity relational diagram that is on our screen here. I'm going to use an online SQL compiler, dbfiddle. And this compiler enables you to create your SQL queries, create tables, and run your SQL queries. We'll be using a PostgreSQL version 13. So pardon me, I'll be extra fast right now. Now we're going to create 3 labels: the students, course, and enrollment. To do that, we use the create table command. So we are creating students. Rather than, oh gosh, I've done all of this. Okay, let me just, I copied it, so I'll just paste it back and run through what was done when I thought I was presenting. So the first, so this is to create the students table. This is the command highlighted is what we use to create the students table. Then going to the course table, this one highlighted is what we use to create the courses table. Then next, the enrollment table. This is what we use to create the enrollment table. Remember that the enrollment has 2 foreign keys, the student ID and the course ID. So declare the student ID as a foreign key. This is the command that we use, the one highlighted. Then to make the course ID a foreign key, this highlighted row is what we use to make the course ID from the courses table a foreign key in the enrollments table. Then after that, we went on to insert records. These records on our screen into the students, the enrollments, and the courses table. And for the students table, this is what we used to insert the records. For the courses table, this highlighted query is what we used to also insert the records. Then tables for the enrollment table. This is the command that we used to insert the records into the enrollment table. Then after that, when we run this query, we'll see a query successful, showing that the tables have been created. So query successfully executed, showing that the tables have been created and the rows exist in the table. So we can simply query this table, let's say our students table, to view everything that is there from the students. Then run. Was successful. So the results pane here shows us the information on our students table. If we do the same for courses and the enrollments, we're going to get similar results, because results similar to these two tables here, since the query ran successfully. Then I also want to point out, I also pointed out that it's important for us to understand our database schema, so that when we are creating pipelines, it does not break in production. I use an example, this students table. For the students table, in our schema here, we declare that the name variable will have 10 characters. So let's work with inserting a record. I'm just going to copy all of this. To insert a record into the students table with name more than 10 characters, and let's see what it will give us. Let's say Ade Soji. This is more than 10. Then semicolon. Select everything. Let's view everything on our student table. Okay, so it did not run. The first one detected an error, so that made the second one. That made the second one not to run. If you look at the error it has given us here, is that the value, which is this value, is too long for varying 10. So that means that the length of the name here is above 10. Now we can either decide to shorten it, or we can choose. If we shorten this name, a situation might arise next time, and this error will keep repeating itself. So what we get to do here is we simply update our key. We change the character to 25. 25 should get this. And let's run. Oops, Okay. So I'll just refresh Control X. I'll just refresh this. So right now we've changed we've changed the name to have 25 characters. So we'll go back to insert. Let's run our table again. Right, very successful. Then we're going to insert the name again and see Adesoji. Okay, key error. Oh yes, that was the problem. Number 5. Let's see if this name will go in. Oh, I didn't change this. Gosh. Was hey, okay. All right, so it was successful. Then we can also add in another one. Let's just try another one. Just at any name at all. As long as it's between 25, between 0 and 25. Let's see everything that we have. Select, okay, from students. Let's run and see. What's the pro select? Oh, I didn't use a semicolon to separate both queries. All right, it was successful. Now the first one is to insert a value, so it wouldn't give us any output. And let's check. Okay, so we can see that number 6 has been inserted into the database, because that has taken care of. We have taken care of the length, the character length here. So so that's the importance of a data engineer knowing and understanding the characteristics of your database, knowing what your data schema contains, and knowing the limitations of your schema. Then moving on to a data warehouse. Let's see. What is a data warehouse? This week we looked at data warehouse. What is a data warehouse? A data warehouse is a centralized system that used to store and organize data in organization, especially large voluminous data. We're talking mostly of historical data. That's what is being contained, is being stored in a data warehouse. Then the purpose of a data warehouse is to, first of all, it brings together every data concerning an organization from the different departments. The data warehouse is like the central store of their data of every department in an organization, so that if an analyst needs something from, let's say, the human resources department, and another information also from, say, the legal department, she doesn't need to go to the departments one after the other to look for this information. The person can simply go to the data warehouse, get the information that they need, and work on the information to give insights concerning the business dealings. So the purpose of the data warehouse, first of all, is to bring together all data concerning a business entity from the various departments, and giving them just one central and placing them in a central location. Then common use cases, like I said, yes, to bring data from different departments together. Then we can look at like an e-commerce store. the data warehouse is used to analyze performance. It could be used to track customers and used by the analytics team to work. It's used by the analytics team and also used for predictions and every other person that requires the use of clear and analytical data in an organization. Then we look at the layers of a data warehouse. We have the data source, data stage, the storage, and the presentation. If we come to the data source could be a flat file. A flat file can be a CSV file, an Excel file, or even data from a database. Data from database can serve as a source file to the data warehouse. Then in the data staging area, that is where it processes the data that it gets from the source. Going through the ETL process, it transforms the data, and after the transformation, it stores it in the main storage location, where it will be used by those who require it and those that have the right to access the data in the organization. So it is from the data storage area that those who need it, like say the analysts and scientists, that's where they go and get the data that they require from. So data will pass in the data warehouse, it will pass through these stages, through these layers before it gets to the final presentation stage. It can be used to get insights and information concerning a business. Then when we talk of the data modeling, like in databases, it's how the data is organized in a data warehouse for ease of access and for ease of management. There are different ways of modeling data in a data warehouse. First, we have the SAT schema or the Snowflake schema. This is similar to an entity relational diagram in a relational diagram in the database, and it's also similar to breaking down the tables in a database into its normal ones. So the SAT schema is how a data can be presented or stored in a database, in a data warehouse. Also, the Snowflake schema is another means of storing data in a data warehouse. Then we talk of facts and dimensions. Facts and dimensions talks of the tables. How are they recorded? How are they modeled? How is the table modeled in the data warehouse? Then we look at relationships. Relationship is simply the keys that combines these tables. What kind of joins exist between the tables in your data warehouse? Then look at slowly changing dimensions. This one simply means when a value changes over time. When a value changes over time, how is this being recorded? How is it being handled in a data warehouse? There are basically three types. We have the type 1, type 2, and the type 3. So giving myself as an example now, I decide to change my name from Ogochukwu to say Bella. Now, in the type 1 method, if they are going to update my name in the database, in the data warehouse, it's simply that my name, the first name, my previous name, Ogochukwu, will be cleared automatically, will be removed from the system. So my new name, Bella, replaces the old name that is in the data warehouse. Because a data warehouse houses historical data that has been in a company or an institution for a very long time. So when there has been change in any information in the data warehouse, type 1 changing dimension is when the previous record is the current record is replaced by the previous record is replaced by the current record. So my new name, Bella, is replaces Ogochukwu in the data warehouse. That's when we talk of type 1. Then when we talk of type 2 simply is when a row is added. Now, my information is already there. I have an ID, and my ID could be 005. In type 2, they simply give me a new ID, say 010, and give me my new name. So type 2 houses both my old information and new information in different rows. Then when we talk of the type 3 slowly changing dimension type, that's in type 3, my name, the new name, is placed as a column in the data warehouse. Now I get to retain my old ID, which is 005, but a new column is added to my name. And I also still have my previous name, which is Ogochukwu, and the new name, Bella, could be there as an AKA, also known as. So that comes in as a row, as a column, sorry, when we talk of type 3 in slowly changing dimensions. Then looking more closely at the star and the snowflake schema. Am I still on? I think I am. Can anyone hear me? Okay, all right, thank you. So sorry, I'm going to go like this fast. Then when we talk of the star and snowflake schema, for the star schema, we have one facts table, we have central table, and every other table in that data warehouse. In that data warehouse is directly connected to the facts table. The facts table is the main table that contains metrics that are needed in that the main metrics needed for calculations in that data warehouse. While every other table comes in as the dimensions table, and they are directly linked to the the facts table that's in the star schema. Then looking at the snowflake schema, it's similar to the star schema, but the difference here is that dimensions, not all dimensions tables are not directly linked to the facts table. Like here, we have 2 dimensions table, we have this, and we have this linked to this other dimensions table. So in a snowflake schema, the tables, some dimensional tables are indirectly linked to the facts table. They are directly linked to other dimensions table, but indirectly linked to the facts table. So that's a brief. That's it for the star and snowflake schema. Then looking at facts and dimensions, what are they? These are the things that we need to understand to know how to create the facts and dimensions. So for a facts table, what are the things that make up a facts table? First of all, when given a flat file or you have so many CSV files that you want to convert to either a star or a snowflake schema, the first thing you have to look at is what are the numerical values? What are the values that you can perform aggregate functions on? What are the values that you can perform aggregate functions on? These are the values that actually make up the facts table, because it is from there that you can easily summarize values that are linked to those in the dimensions table. So when you look at these things, this is the first thing you need to look at first of all. You check out what are the numerical values and what are the values that you can perform aggregate functions on. These are what would make up your facts table. Then by naming convention, every fact table has either as a prefix before the table or a suffix after the table name. You have facts there. So for example, we can have fact sales or sales facts, as we can see underneath here. Then come to the dimensions table. Dimensions table is mainly descriptive values that gives more meaning to values that gives more meaning, or columns that give more meaning to the columns that we have chosen in our facts table. So the dimension mainly is about descriptive. If we say we're doing sales, we have figures for our sales, then we have to know those sales figures cannot stand on their own. To make sense of those sales figures, we need to know like who bought those items. We need to know where the person comes from. We need to know what date the person enrolled and all of that. So things that give more meaning to our facts table comes to give more meaning to those we have chosen to be in our facts table are those that make up the dimensions table. And the dimensions table also has a prefix or a suffix of DIN. So at the end, if you're dealing with like a country dimension, we have either country name or different country. If the table name is say customers, so by convention name it either customers dim or dim customers. But DIN should be there to tell us that this is a dimensions table. And FACT fact should be there to tell us that this is a facts table. Then okay, so quickly, I would just like us to look at this. The table that is here. Let me remove this. Okay, so looking at this table now, we have a CSV file that contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. We have the sales ID, the sales date, the name, the product name, quantity, and prices. So I would like someone to try and tell us which columns would likely be called the facts table. Am I still here?
Yes.
Okay, please, someone should try and just tell us which columns can we look at to make up the facts table.
The price column.
The price. Okay. Is it only the price column?
The price
Quantity
column and
as well
quantity.
and the sales date.
Sorry?
Quantity.
Column and the first column.
Okay, that's it. For the facts table, we can get the quantity and the price. I think I had someone say date. Date can actually be placed in as a dimension. Now, though, this all depends on the kind of organization, because most times you see when dealing with dates like this in analytics, they always use a timeline. Like we could when looking at analytics, we could use something like using a timeline. We need to know like the monthly trend or the yearly trend of something or sales, so that we'll know the months that there are higher purchases and the months that they have lower purchases. So the date is a dimension table on its own. In situations like this, you create the sales state will be in the facts table, but it also has a dimension table on its own. So for the dimension table here, I'm just going to rush and see this. We'll have the name and also the product name. So let's leave the second one and go forward ahead. So we're talking traditional relational data management system and the data warehouse. What is the usefulness? What is the difference? Now, as we mentioned last week, a traditional relational database management system such as MySQL and PostgreSQL are used mainly for online transactional processes. Now, these are real-time processes. Once an information comes in, if we're working on an online store, as an example, and someone inputs an information from that website, the information goes to a database. This database now stores real-time data. The database stores real-time data that is used at that moment. While for a data warehouse, the data warehouse uses an OLAP process, which is online analytical processing. And this process is highly optimized for analytics. And that is why a data warehouse stores historical data. So if we look at the database and the data warehouse, let's take an example, an online store. A user gets something from the purchases something from the store, and every information is gotten and saved in the database. At the end of the day, the data from the database is now moved to our data warehouse for storage. So on a daily basis, we can get information from the database. Whereas in a data warehouse, we can get information because on a daily basis, the information will move from the traditional database and go and it will be stored in the data warehouse because the data warehouse has more capacity and it is highly optimized for such storage. Then if we come to the design stage, a traditional database is normalized, like the normalization forms that we did last week. It's usually in its third normal form, so as to avoid redundancy, so as to avoid repetition of data and repetition of information in the database. Whereas in our data warehouse, it is optimized for querying, and it is in its denormalized form, usually in its denormalized form, so that there are less joins and faster processing time when the warehouse is being built. Then it's used mainly by the relational database is used by database developers or application developers, while the data warehouse is used by analysts and scientists to get information from historical data. And OLTP is an online transaction process, which is a system used by our traditional database, while OLAP is the system used by the data warehouse. I've talked of the normalization form and the type of data that these two systems hold. The OLTP holds real-time data, while the OLAP holds historical data that is in an institution for a very long time. Examples are MySQL, PostgreSQL for the relational database, while for data warehouses, we have Snowflake, we have BigQuery, we have Amazon Redshift, and all of that. And that brings us to Snowflake. What is Snowflake? Snowflake is a cloud-based data warehousing platform. The cloud-based data warehousing platform that is used to store data. Like we said before, a data warehouse is used to store historical data, and that is what Snowflake is also used for. However, Snowflake is like the most common. It is the most common of the ones that we have available right now. We have the Amazon Redshift, we have Google Query, but generally Snowflake is the most common data warehousing platform that is available right now. Snowflake is, some of the features are it's cloud-based, it's scalable. You do not have to talk of infrastructure. When you deal with Snowflake, like other warehouses, you do not think of the infrastructure. They can scale according to the needs of the business. If the business requires less storage units, it is being provided. And if by chance the business grows and requires more storage units, it is easily gotten in Snowflake. Also, it supports structured and semi-structured data. Semi-structured data like the JSON files, Parquet files, yes. So Snowflake is more optimized to, it's built more to handle semi-structured data, unlike our relational databases, unlike the SQL, MySQL, and all others. Then, when we come to the Snowflake architecture, we have, it's made up of 3 layers: the data storage layer, the compute layer, and the cloud services. The data storage layer is when data comes, it's when data is stored. The compute layer is where querying of the database, querying of the warehouse is done. While the cloud services layer is like the brain box of the Snowflake platform. It is the engine in that it directs everything happening both in the compute layer and in the data storage layer. Then Snowflake SQL is simply the type of SQL that is used in Snowflake. It is the SQL flavor used in Snowflake platform. The importance of knowing SQL is that if you know SQL, every other, you're like 80 to 90% ready to work on any SQL platform or to work with any SQL flavor. Just very little changes. Coming to Snowflake SQL, if you fully understand the common common SQL commands, like how to use query properly, how to use joins, how to use aggregates, that's the data definition language, how to create tables, data manipulation languages, yes, how to use filters, and how to update records, and the rest of that. If you fully understand how to apply these concepts, then you already know Snowflake SQL about 80 to 90%. So most of those flavors, in fact, virtually all of them, they are all similar. Just very little differences is what exists between the different flavors of SQL. I've come to Snowflake SQL. One of the differences is because of the cloud-based capabilities and its capability to work with semi-structured data easily, there are additional commands that you will now have to learn for Snowflake SQL, and that is commands that will make you like copying into commands is used to copy a table from a database into the cloud, and other commands. But basically, most of the commands are the commands that you already know and commands that you've already been taught. So if you've completed SQL courses and you're currently where we are, you've completed all your assignments, you'll be familiar with most SQL commands, and all these commands are the same across the different SQL flavors. Then, if you want to know more on SQL, on Snowflake, sorry, DataCamp has a Snowflake foundations. Yes, it has a Snowflake foundations track, and it also has an associate data engineer in Snowflake track. Now, by completing these classes, you will see that you have completed almost all the courses that are even listed in these two tracks. I think with the exception of only 3 or thereabouts. So most of the courses that we have completed already are part of the track, are part of the courses in these two tracks. So at the end sessions, at the end of our sessions for 5 months, you're still interested in going in depth into Snowflake data warehouse, you can still continue learning these resources. Also, you can read their documentation in their website. Then one thing to note is this: Snowflake offers free trials to those who register on their site newly. Free trial is that you will have 30 days access to some functionalities of Snowflake. So if you work on a project using Snowflake, you register, you have just 30 days to access the platform and to work on the projects that you want to work on. That's if you go directly to the platform. However, if you go through DataCamp's platform, there is a link there in the courses available. That's the social Snowflake Foundations or the Associate Data Engineering in Snowflake. When you complete these courses and you follow the link on DataCamp, that link will give you a 120-day free trial period, which you can use to work on your Snowflake skills and know how and have experience of how data is being moved from extracted from a data warehouse, you push it down to Snowflake, extracted from a database and moved to a data warehouse and process and transform the data. So while DataCamp gives you 120 days free trial, you have just 30 days when you go directly to Snowflake's website. So for now, that's it. I don't know if anyone has any question before we proceed. Hello?
No question from my end.
Okay, no, please, you can talk. Just marvelous. Let's hear you, please, before we proceed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. I want to ask on the Snowflake platform. Is it a cloud-based platform? And does it have? You said it's a data warehouse, and I want to ask that, is it an ETL platform too, or is it just a data warehousing platform? Because I think some of our cloud basis platform, they do have ETL softwares, also data warehouse softwares. So I want to ask that Snowflake, is it a data warehouse, just a data warehousing platform, and we are going to be needing another ETL platform to do this? Like, those are my questions.
Okay. So Snowflake has, it is a data warehouse, and you can also perform, I think you can perform it. Yes, you can. You can actually perform ETL on Snowflake. Is that fine?
Okay, Baba, yes.
All right. So Kosim, let's hear you, please.
Yeah, sorry, ma, please, can we take the
Sorry, is it a cloud platform too?
Yes, it is a cloud platform.
Okay.
Yes, it is. I think Ayomide. No, you didn't raise his hand. So let's hear you, please.
Hello, good evening.
Yes,
Hello,
I can hear you.
please can you hear me? Oh, please, I
Yes,
think we are we going to have the full recording for this section?
yes, it should be available. Yes,
Hello.
yes, you
Okay,
will.
okay, please, so that from beginning. Thank you, ma.
All right. So let's continue, please, because I want to work a bit on camp before we close. So next week, of course, as usual, after this call, I'm going to send out assignments for next week. And next week we'll be covering two main courses, which is understanding data visualization and a data camp project exploring London's travel network. We'll also have to earn 5,000 XPs next week. And there's a simple exercise that I'll be sending to our platform. That should be tomorrow. So on this call, I'll send an exercise tomorrow. Now, this is what the exercise look like. But when I send it, I'll send it the PDF copy. You have more information about what you do. But basically, this is it. Now you give a CSV file that contains so many information. Of course, No. Sorry, I kind of lost my internet connection a bit there. So sorry for that. Okay, Ayomi, let's hear you. Since you've raised your hand.
All right. Good evening, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Oh, good evening.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So thanks for the class. I just wanted to confirm the assignment you said you were going to give. Is it going to be as part of what we'll be doing on data camp, or it will be a separate assignment in itself?
No, this is going to be a separate assignment because even while it's good to work on data camp, it's also good that you know how to work independent of data camp, because most of the projects on data camp are like that. So it's also good that you learn how to work independent on your own and see how to get break down these concepts that you've been learning. So the project is going to be, this is not even a project like a mini exercise, it's not that huge. So it's going to just be for you to solve on your own. And after that, you'll also have a project. You'll also be given a project, but for now, this is what you have to do on your own outside data camp. Like I said, I'll be sending that in tomorrow. I'll be sending
To our
that tomorrow.
like to our emails, right?
No, I'll put it on our Discord channel. I don't have the emails. This is our primary means of communication. And please, if you're not on the Discord channel, please try and join us. That's where you're going to get this assignment. I don't have anyone's email to send messages to. So if you're not there, please go back to the previous mail that was sent to you. The welcoming, the congratulatory mail. The link to the Discord channel is there. So do well to join us there so you get this assignment tomorrow. Then,
thank you,
all right, you're welcome. Then I want to talk of our data camp, the resources that we have on data camp. Let me get to share my screen again. So, let's see. Yep, allow. Okay, so now why do we form the form? All right, it's coming up. So I hope everyone can see my screen. I am on the data camp's website right now. Please, I need someone to speak. Let me be sure that you all are seeing my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. I can see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I can
you.
see your screen.
All right. So now, while working out the assignments, notice that some persons have actually gone far, and that's a big plus to them. Yes. Oh, good. There's someone that has completed. We have about 6 persons that have actually completed this track, the data engineer in civil track, and that's a huge plus to them. Congratulations to them. So After that, what next? Now, after that track, you'll be given some courses which you have to, national courses which you have to complete before going into the before. But before that, notice that some courses they actually finish these courses before it's been assigned to everybody. And however, one situation where we know that, and we are sure that everybody is learning on a weekly basis. So okay, hello. I don't know, I'm just having network issues, so I'm coming back here with my phone. So before I continue, let me just put in the attendance. So please fill that an attendance form. Then, like we're saying, I'll have to share my screen. Oh. Okay. Anyway, so when we talk of certification, let me share my screen from my phone and see if I can get the certification here. Okay, so I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so now I've opened data camp on from my phone, so we'll just work with this. Let me see, where is the certification here? Ouch, looks like certification isn't here. Okay, certification isn't on their online, isn't on the mobile app. So because of course you have to take it with your laptop. So now when you go to the certification, if you're working with your system, you get to the certification, you select the one for data engineer. Now, before you register, it's important that you do the skill assessment test. The skill assessment will now test you on the things that would actually be asked on some areas that will be the core focus of the certification exam. The certification is in two phases. The first is objective. I can't remember the number of questions right now, but the first is objective, while the second is a project. Now, there is a mark you need to pass for the first round before you go to the second round. You first of all complete the first round, which is the objective part of it. Complete it and get, I think the minimum score is 130. That's the minimum score. When you get the minimum score, then you can proceed to the project. So if you are correct in both the objective, if you pass the minimum score for the objective and your project is correct, then you will be certified as an associate data engineer in SQL for data camp. Now, if you register for a certification exam, it expires in two ways. First is, if you fail the objective twice, you will have to wait for 30 days before you can register again for the certification. Now, within that 30 days, it is expected that you go back and learn and relearn, because when you do that, when you fail, they are going to send you a mail advising you on the courses you should retake after having tested your knowledge in the objectives. So it's expected that within that 30 days, before you go back again the second time, you go back to these courses that they have suggested, review these courses, refresh your memories, take the skills assessment again before you come back and register for the certification examination. That's after 30 days. Then the second way which it expires is it expires within 30 days. It is expected that once you register today, you have 30 days to complete it. If you do not complete it within 30 days, it would go, whether you pass the first stage or not. After 30 days, that certification will expire. So you will have to come back and re-register again to take that certification exam. So this is basically for those that have completed the course and looking at their certifications. let's get prepared, let's get ready. In 2 weeks time max, I think we'll finish this track, and then everybody will be looking at taking the certification exam. So I just want us to prepare our minds that it's not, the questions are really not difficult. It's what you get to see when you constantly take the practice, tests, and when you do the skill assessments. The questions for the certification are similar to what you see there. So as long as you're consistent in practicing so as to refresh your memory and to reinforce the learning, the certification exam will just be a walk in the park. Then looking at, I also want to point out something else. Really, from last week, our performance seriously dropped for those that completed, and I mean those that completed the assignments. Right from the first week, I've been tracking it, and our performance has dropped. If you look here now, you can see on my screen, you can see the leaderboard. Yes. So I want to look at the leaderboard of those in data engineering. Why is this delaying again? Okay. So okay, so looking at the leaderboard for those in data, yeah, this one is for those in data engineering. You can see the first person here is Joshua Ohimoro. Is Joshua Ohimoro here? Joshua, are you on this call? No, he's not. What of Oyetunji?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well done. Well done. Congratulations.
Okay,
You're number
on
2 on our list.
the call.
Oh, is
I'm on the
Joshua
call. I
also
was
here?
trying to set up. Yes, I'm here. I was
Okay.
trying to set my
Oh,
microphone.
oh, that's fine. Congratulations. The top 2 persons on our leaderboard. And what of Olatunji? Is he here or is she here? Is Olatunji here?
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, congratulations. So these 3 persons now, they are the top 3 on our leaderboard and they are joining us today. So I want to use this thing to encourage us. Like, personally, I checked my own and I think, where is my name, safe? I think I saw my name in number 30 something. Because I know, number 39. And after looking at it, I said, no, I have to be part of, if I don't get to anywhere, at least this week, I have to be part of the top 10. So I want to place this as a challenge to everybody. Let's ensure that on a weekly basis, let us see the people that will drag the top 5 positions. On a weekly basis, let's see who will be the top 5. And in every of our session, we are going to celebrate those in our top 5. So I want to use this as a challenge to all of us here, including myself. Ensure that next week, when we come back here, your name is in the top 5. So we have Leslie Anubi and also Marvelous as part of the top 5. And you can see that within the past 30 days, Joshua has earned over 100,000 XP. So looking at this alone, we already know those people that have exceeded the 50,000 minimum benchmark of XPs to cross for our 2 months probation period. We already know it. We already know ourselves. So if you are below, I want you to use this as an opportunity to encourage yourself, motivate yourself, and ensure that next week, even if you're not in the top 5, ensure that your name is not missing in the top 10. That is my own plan for this week. I don't know about any other person. So that's it for that. That's it for our data camp. Then lastly, we now have our career track project. Now I said before that we're going to at the end of our career track, we will be having a project. Now, this project, this one I said I'll send in tomorrow is just like a mini exercise. But now we're going to have a major project. The project will come. You're not drawing any relational diagram. No, we're going to do querying. We're going to create databases. We're going to insert rows, and we're going to work strictly with SQL, and possibly do an end-to-end data engineering project with only SQL. Now that is going to happen after our career, after we complete this career track. So for those that have completed it, we'll have to wait. When we meet up with you, that should be in 2 weeks' time, we will talk more on that, and we'll, the means of submission, the length of the assignments, every other thing of the project, every other thing will be, you'll get every other information in 2 weeks' time when we're done with this career track. So I hope everybody has written their name in the attendance. Okay. So someone said the certification exam. Now, okay, I just read the messages and someone mentioned you can't find the attendance. Let me send it again. Please, Ibrahim, that's the attendance. If you haven't, okay, you're welcome. So if you haven't, please ensure you write your name in your attendance. As we all know, it counts towards 2 months. Wow, time is already fast spent. So the certification exam, at the end of our track, the introduction to SQL, sorry, not the introduction, data engineering in SQL track, career track, you will. Now, this certificate is different from the statement of accomplishments. Statement of accomplishments means that you have finished all the courses. You have finished all the courses on that track. So when you finish all the courses on that track, you will get a statement of accomplishments. Now, after that, you can go ahead and do the certification exam. Everybody is expected to do that certification exam, and it is also available on Data Camp. I don't want to connect with my PC again, else I would have shown it to you now. Let's not be cut off because time is already fast spent. So next week, hopefully, I think I'll have to go. First of all, I will do I'll share my screen and you'll see the certification. But on your own time, you can use your PC, check certifications, and you will see data engineering certification under certifications. Now, data engineering has two. Data engineering has two certifications. First, you have the certification with SQL, and you have the second one with Python, and that is the professional data engineering certificate. So now you have completed the courses you need to complete before taking the certification in SQL. Before going ahead to commence the Python track, it is good that you take the SQL certification exam. So after the certification, if you pass, you will see a certificate. The certificate is not hard copy, of course, it's a PDF, and you will see it there. It will be given to you, and you also have a badge. A badge will also be given to you that you have been certified as an associate data engineer in SQL. So this means that you can perform an end-to-end project in an end-to-end data engineering project using SQL because you have been tested, you have done projects which shows that you have these skills and competences. So that's what the certification is all about. At the end of the track, we are all going to register for the certification. Within 1 month, we will be certified. So I hope that's clear for the person that asked for certification. Yes. Data engineer associate certification. Yes, that's the one for SQL. Then the one for Python is professional. But before you take the one for Python, you must first of all complete that of SQL and get the certificate. So the SQL certification leads to the Python certificate. That's why we are starting with SQL. After that, we do the exam. Then we continue with Python, after which we do the examination for Python. I hope that answers all our questions. Is that fine?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. So if we do not have any other question, time is fast spent already. We're not supposed to stay here beyond 8 p.m. So if we do not have any other question, I hope that we'll have to call it a day. Do we have any other question? Apparently none. So I want to say thank you for joining, and I hope I've sent the attendance. Okay, I'm sending again. All right, you're welcome. So Kosim, all right, let's hear you. Kosim. Kosim, do you have a question? You raised your hand, or do we call it a day? Okay, someone is it the XPs? Yes, it's the XPs. By the number of XPs, the XPs position you on the board. So if you're active on the site, you're learning, you're doing your practices daily, of course you get, if you just have an aim of, let's say, minimum of 3,000 XPs in a day, take that for 5 days and you have 15,000 XP in 1 week. So yes, it's the XPs that positions you in the board. Okay, so if that's all, Kosim is not speaking. So if that's all for today, I want to say thank you for joining. Thank you for your patience. Apologies for the network hitches and every other thing. And have a pleasant night rest. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everybody.